it's Nell, and today I'm going to talk about something I do a lot of, and that is propagating succulents. I'm going to give you a hint. It's really, really easy to do, so stick around. The easiest ways are by stem cuttings and leaf cuttings, and I'm going to get to that in a bit. But there's a few other ways you can do it. You can do it by division. Say this was one plant, or even though it's a mixed garden, you could divide it up. You could take it out of the pot and then just cut it into fours or into half, or however many plants you wanted to cut it into. So that's division. And then there's seed. Seed is obvious. And then there's a stem cutting. Well, it's not really a stem cutting, but it's when it roots off of the stems. Say this was a plant growing this way, and you wanted to cut this off and propagate it. You would just cut it there, and then this part remaining here would actually sprout here. So it is actually a sprout off of the mother stem. And then the other way is by just taking a piece of the stem. Just cutting, say you cut off a piece of this stem like that, and you just lay it sideways, and then you'll see sprouts coming off of that. And here's that sideways sprouting of the babies that I was talking about. This Graptivaria has just done this naturally on its own in the garden, the way it's grown. And you can see where they're coming right off of that stem there. So the first easiest way, the first of two easy ways that I'm going to talk about, is leaf cuttings. And here's one here. And I'll just take one off of this copper tone sedum here. And it's really simple. I have succulent and cactus mix here. It's a very light mix. There isn't even a drain hole in this saucer because I'm not going to soak it. And you just lay them on the top. And I kind of let them sit in for a few days just to settle in and to heal off. You want the ends to heal off there. And then when it comes time to moisturize them, you would just give them a spray. I'm just spraying them now to show you. You would just give them a light spray, just enough to keep the top and maybe quarter of an inch of the soil wet. And that is it. And you just want to keep it out of any bright, direct, hot sun. And you would keep it something very bright, but not direct and hot. And then after a while, you will see baby plants appearing off of the leaf. And here's a leaf that's fallen off my Burrow's tail sedum. This part is the part that attached to the stem, and you can see how the root has formed there. And then there's that little baby plantlet that I was telling you about. This is an Aeonium arboreum, and it broke. It actually just broke off in the garden. The head was getting so heavy. And so I just kind of left it out in the garden. And even though it looks kind of sad, it's going to perk up once it starts to root. And sometimes you won't see roots appearing on succulents, but they'll root once they get into this mix. And again, this is a cactus and a succulent mix. It's very well drained, and that's what succulents like. So I took the cutting at an angle. This one hasn't healed off yet because I just cut it off. And you would want it to heal over. After you do the cutting, you want it to heal over from anywhere from 2 weeks to about 4 months. These burrow tails here, which I'll talk about a little bit later, have been out of soil. I've had these as cuttings now for about 5 months. And then you just put it into the pot. And this I would need to stake, just because it's heavy, and then it's just going to root in just like that. And as I said, this will perk up. And this is a bonsai Crassula. It's in the jade family. This has been out of water for about a year. I mean, well, out of dirt. Yeah, it's been out of water because it's been out of dirt too. So the same thing, just get it right in there and put it there. I keep them dry, the same as the leaf cuttings. I keep them dry for a few days, and then this you would want to really thoroughly hardly water after that, and then you would want to water it probably about every two to 3 weeks. And again, no direct hot sun when they are rooting. Now back to the burro's tail. I've got a lot of burro's tail, so I really don't have any place to plant this. That's why it's been where it has been. But you can see how it looks. It's not really plump and juicy like they usually look when they're growing in soil and happy. But if I were to plant this in a matter of just a few weeks, they would be all perked up and happy as can be. And whenever I plant anything that is hanging, I always use some greening pins and some pins in here to hold it down, because the weight of the plant is going to pull this right out of the pot. Cactus are really easy to propagate this way too. These two came off of this mother plant here, and I'm not actually going to cut because I don't have any gloves on, or I don't have my tongs to hold it. But you just go as close to the mother plant and you cut. I'll plant a little plantlet away and let it heal over, and then just plant it right in here. Actually, I did not let these heal over for too long because it was a cactus garden. I think they healed over for a couple days. I kept this dry after I planted it for about a month, so that it was just able to heal over in the cactus and succulent mix in here on its own. And this one here, you would just take off one of the ears here, and then you could just plant this one here and start a new plant. Couple of succulents I want to sort of warn you about. Aloes are very hard to propagate from stem cuttings because they are full of the juice. And the one you're probably familiar with is the aloe vera, or the burn plant, and that is best propagated by taking a baby off of the mother plant. I will leave the link to a post I did about that down below, so you can see how I propagated the aloe. They just mush out when trying to propagate them that way. And also a lot of the euphorbias, like I have, and the milk tree it's called, or the pencil cactus, and it will really emit a lot of sap when it's cut, so you really have to be careful when you're propagating them when you're taking cuttings. Actually, I am going to do a video about my milk tree, so I will show you that in the future, so you can see what I'm talking about. Maybe because that sap is irritating to some people, so you have to have a towel and blot it, because it takes like about an hour for it to stop bleeding. But otherwise, other than that, they're very easy to propagate. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and please subscribe because we have a lot more videos coming your way. So let's get gardening and make the world a more beautiful place.